Hare Krishna. Thank you, Jagannath Sharan Prabhu. I'm sorry about my cold. This is every year I get this gift when I come to the UK. I have very beautiful memories of coming here. I've come here twice before. I remember once we spoke on hearing, and I remember the discussions we had. And I remember once we spoke on parenting also. Although I've never been a parent, some questions came up and we had a good discussion. So I have that memory. But that time the asana was there.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Very happy to be here again. And you've given me a topic which is very close to my heart. Change your thoughts, transform your life. And because I've gone through a lot of struggles myself, we are from the school of hard knocks, living in a monastery, cut off from the world, and then our struggles, our challenges, and then also because I journal every day, so I could gather all of those thoughts, and I'm going to share with you some things which have really helped me. So there are 4 principles which, if we can internalize, we'll see a dramatic transformation in our own lives. The spiritual landscape will completely change. And these 4 principles will help us work on our thoughts, the inner world. So I'll beseech your attention, and we'll also have some time for questions. So I'll share these 4 principles with you. Thank you. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Mande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Raita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yonta Pravishya Mama Vachamimam Prasuptan Sanjivayat Akila Shakti Dhara Swadhamna Anyamsha Hasta Charana Shravana Tvagadin Pranan Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Katanchana Smrite Yasmin Duskaram Sukaram Bhave Vismrite Viparitam Syat Sri Chaitanya Namamitam. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Jagannath Sharan Prabhu, Vrajnath Gopal Prabhu, and the entire team here for inviting me. Change your thoughts, transform your life. We can't change the world, we can't change things from happening to us. And to be very honest, we also can't change a lot in our own inner world because Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is called as Rishi Kesha. He is the controller of the mind and senses. So in the Bhakti tradition, we ultimately give ourselves completely to Krishna. Krishna, I love you. I surrender. Take charge of my mind. Take charge of my senses. Take charge of my intelligence. So ultimately, Krishna does all the inner work and the outer adjustments. But there is something we can do to show our sincerity to Krishna, that we want him to intervene in our lives. So in that mood, we try to take charge of our lives. So when I discuss these 4 principles, at some point of time you may think, okay, if I do these 4, yes, I'm in charge of my life. Well, in Bhakti Yoga, we are not yogis like the other paths. We are not here to control our mind. We don't want to be great mind controllers. We want to offer everything of ourselves to Krishna. It's a loving relationship. Even if my mind is not controlled, Krishna, I love you and this is what I have. Even if it's a wilted flower, even if I have nothing good to offer, but I'm yours. In that mood, we come to Krishna. But we can't be shameless. We can't be insincere. So we need to prove to Krishna that I'm trying my best in my own unique way. So there are 4 principles which I have seen when we practice, we experience all the wonderful promises made in the scriptures about Bhakti Yoga to be true. The first principle is, choose your thoughts, change your feelings. I'll repeat. You can choose your thoughts and then accordingly change your feelings. Often we think I'm helpless. I feel bad. I feel sad. We all go through different feelings, and in one day we go through all different feelings. Especially I've seen, it can be compared to seasons changing. Weather, like in England, it is very prominent. In one day, in 1 hour, you can see many seasons change. It's hot, it's cold, it's sunny, it's raining. I go for a morning walk. I go for a walk everywhere I travel. But only in England I have a unique way of going for a morning walk. I walk with an umbrella, with a cap, with a raincoat cap, and also with a woolen cap. Because I don't know when the sun would come up, when it would rain. Anyway, so the seasons change. Similarly, our moods change. And many times we think I'm helpless. Yes, to a certain extent, they just come. But by practice and by choosing certain thoughts, we can change our feelings over a period of time. There is a situation, same situation, 2 different people. I don't know if you've realized, there can be a same situation for 2 people, but both can have different emotions. Have you ever experienced it? That in a same situation, 2 different people have 2 different emotions. That means those feelings are not independent. They're coming from somewhere. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'll give an example. You are in a plane. The pilot announces, ladies and gentlemen, the engine has failed. And the plane is going to crash. But don't worry, we have parachutes for everyone. We'll all land safely. You all will be given a parachute. What will happen? Some passengers would panic. But there are some passengers, they could be excited. Yeah, they may have always wanted to use a parachute. So you will see, he's happy, and she's sad, or she is happy. You don't know what has happened. It's not the external situation. It's something is happening here. So let us at least understand this. First principle is to understand that if I choose my own thoughts, I can change my feelings in the long run. Of course, I have to repeat again and again, because we are Bhakti yogis. We can change our feelings if Krishna desires. Because Krishna is our loving Lord. We don't want to be controlling our thoughts and feelings and become a great yogi. We want to serve Krishna. We want to please Krishna. We want to love Krishna. And so that I can serve Krishna better, I want to control my thoughts. I want to control my feelings. Okay. So I'll give an example. I have many examples for this. I remember, when was this? Yes. In 2004 or 5, we were going to Mayapur. Anybody been to Mayapur? Dham, holy place? Okay, thank you. So from London, I know you will take a flight to Kolkata, then you will take a taxi. But in Mumbai, we go from our temple by a temple bus to the railway station, and then we take a 36-hour train during those days. And so we left the temple in 2 buses, all the brahmacharis. And the one bus reached the station, the other bus got stuck in traffic. And the train was leaving. And I was in charge of the brahmachari group. And I was in anxiety because the tickets were with the devotee was in the other bus. And I had all kartals and mridangas with me, but the tickets were with him. And all of us were in the train, but the other bus is still not come. And it's time for the train to depart, to leave. And we had those days not the smartphones we have now, we had the small phones. And I'm calling him, he says, Prabhu, we are still half an hour away. There's bad traffic. And I'm like, what to do? I'm in so much anxiety. And I'm seeing this other brahmachari with me, he's my assistant and he's like very peaceful. Prabhu, don't worry, everything will sort out, relax. I'm like, how can he be so peaceful? I was so agitated, in so much anxiety, but I kept looking at him, but I was calling different people. Nothing could be done, and the train began. And now, in India, I don't know if you know, these trains have a chain. If you pull the chain, the train stops. So we had no choice but to pull the chain, and the train stopped after it left the station, and then that gave us some time, some buffer, and we pulled the chain maybe 7 or 8 times. The train would start, we pull the chain, and the officials couldn't trace out who was pulling the chain because somebody would pull chain from one bathroom and then rush to another compartment like that. So by that time these guys came and we were all seated, and then I was like relieved. And this devotee, friend of mine, Gauranga Priya Prabhu, I have told his name now. He was the one who was going around pulling all the chains. He said from childhood he had a desire to pull the chain. and he knew that there is a fine and there is some imprisonment and all of that. And he said, I could never pull the chain in my life. And now for Krishna, I had a chance to do it. And that's why he was excited. He was hoping they'll get late so that he could pull the chain. And then I realized he is happy and I'm not happy in the same situation. Because we had different thoughts, so we felt differently. So our feelings depend on our thoughts. So if we constantly keep telling ourselves, Krishna loves me, Krishna, I love Krishna, Krishna is a well-wisher. If we keep meditating on, we'll discuss now in the next 3 principles how to do that. But the first is this premise that if I work on my thoughts, I can change my feelings. Maybe not immediately because of conditions take time, but it helps, it works. And I've seen devotees. When I said choose your thoughts, change your feelings, that's a very important word here, choose. Because we have to make a choice. Sometimes we seek after truth. I don't know if you've seen this. I want to know the truth. I'll tell you honestly, there's a limitation to know the truth in material world. Sometimes you have to choose your truth. It's exasperating. If you come to India, Indians will convince you what's happening in the border, who is guilty. And if you read Pakistani newspapers, and you will see their own theory. So you ultimately have to choose a reality. You can't really search for truth. It's crazy. Similarly, in our inner world, I have seen, ultimately you have to choose the truth. You can't say, no, I want complete proof that Krishna loves me. No, you have to choose a certain truth. I remember I was rushing to the Mangalarati in the morning at 5 a.m. So as I was rushing in the morning, I saw one new brahmachari, young brahmachari. He was putting on his tilak and was getting ready for Mangalarati. And he was singing Hare Krishna very exuberantly. Hare Krishna, he was like loud pitch, and early morning 5, and I was running to the temple hall, but I stopped. I just kept looking at him. I was so touched to see that innocent, pure attraction to Krishna early morning. And then I looked at the buildings nearby, everybody is fast asleep, and I was just wow. And just then my friend, my colleague, who joined the ashram with me. So as we get older, we become experts. We think we know the whole world and we become cynical and we are smart. Simple things don't impress us anymore. So one of my very close friends, I won't tell you his name, he came and patted me. He said, Bihari, what are you doing? Why are you standing here? I said, just look at him. He said, so what? Just look at his innocence, just look at his joy. He is relishing Harinam so much. Hare Krishna is so attractive. Look at his faith, look at his purity. Wow. And he just shrugged me. Come on. You know why he's singing so happily? I said, because he loves Krishna. Look at him. I told him, look at all the buildings that people are all fast asleep. Early morning, 5 o'clock, where do you see somebody singing glories of Krishna so happily? This is the faith I needed in Krishna. And he kept cynically, just brushing it. He said, you have no idea what has happened. I'll tell you what has happened. This guy, I know him very well. Last 2 weeks, he's been suffering from extreme constipation. And last night, I gave him a super laxative. And his whole system got flushed out. He's like feeling light and relaxed. So he's singing happily. It's not love of Krishna. It's that his stomach is clear. Now, I looked at him, I said, oh. Now I had a choice, right? Now who is right? He could be right. But I could also be right. So, in these cases, it all depends on your choice. So I said, Prabhu, I choose my version of the truth. I refuse to accept your version. Leave me alone. He said, but my version will keep haunting you. And he left. That's how, cynical negativity, we are attracted more than positive. But if you want to be a happy spiritualist, you need to choose. You need to choose a certain reality. I'm not saying be unrealistic. I'm not saying be naive. See, don't get me wrong. Don't go to the other extreme. Sometimes people are like, they go to the other extreme. All's well, everything is wonderful, and you're in the middle of a big mess. That's called in psychology spiritual bypass. Like, it's a psychological condition, disease, Instead of addressing our deep emotional issues, we try to bypass them through some spiritual practices. That's not what we are talking about. We are talking about there are some spiritual realities. If you pause, connect to Krishna, you will experience them, you will connect with them. So we need to at least accept that we need to choose a reality on many occasions. Is this clear? Choose your thoughts and change your feelings. And you'll see life becomes wonderful. And I was very humbled once upon a time. I want to share this incident. I was a yatra in charge. Anybody been to Vrindavan here? Wow, so many of you. You done Govardhan Parikrama? Yes? So in 2007, I was in charge of a yatra and I had a bus. And I had to take a lot of young boys on Govardhan Parikrama. So I booked a bus and I told the driver, you're coming at 4:30 in the morning. You have to drop us at Kusum Sarovar by 5:30. We are starting the Parikrama at 5:30 sharp and we'll complete by 10:30. And 11, we are boarding the bus and we want to be back in Krishna Balram temple by 12. Everything planned to the T. Perfect planning. I was the manager. And in Vrindavan, Krishna is the doer. But I was the doer. I wanted to plan everything perfectly. I was the yatra in charge. I was also giving spiritual discourses, but I was also organizing the yatra. And I told all the boys, come on, everybody ready, 4:30. The bus has come. And what this driver had done, he had not filled the gas tank. So midway, when we reached, there is a long road when we turn towards Govardhan. There's a long road, you keep going straight, and there are only fields on both sides. Now, of course, there are buildings come up, but in 2007, there's empty fields. You could stare for miles, there's nothing. And for a long stretch, straight road, there's nothing, only fields. And right in the middle of the road, he stopped. He's saying, there's no gas, no petrol. And I said, no, you have to do something. I was so angry. And just at that time, during those days, now Vrindavan, Uttar Pradesh has changed a lot. There's a lot of hygiene, a lot of development and all that, because there is a yogi who has come as the chief minister. But earlier, in Vrindavan at that time, early in the morning, people would go to the fields to respond to nature's call. That was their open toilet. So there is an elderly Brajavasi, old man, walking with the lota. You know what is a lota? A big pot. And he had his sacred thread tied on his right ear. So obviously he's going to the toilet. And he comes walking. And I'm like standing there and all these people are chanting. And I'm like, oh, my whole plan has gone for a toss. And I was like so angry. And this driver is also very relaxed. Vrindavan people, they don't care much about our Bombay management. And I was like frustrated. And then this elderly Brajvasi comes to me. He says, Babaji, kya ho gaya? I said, I just brushed him aside. He said, petrol chahiye? You want petrol? I said, I have petrol. And he showed me his pot. I said, what? Petrol? Ah. 200 rupiya do. Petrol le lo. And the driver, I thought he must be cheating me. But the driver had some, I think they have some sense, they have some, I don't know, some body language they understand. He said, Prabhuji, ye barobar hai, de do. And he put it, I gave him the money, and I was only wanting to get things done. So I said, okay, good, we got petrol. And then we did it, and we went, and we reached on time, we did the whole thing, we came back, I gave class on how Krishna is the doer, and Krishna is wonderful, Vrindavan, Hari Bol. But for me, it was just one tick. I had got the job done. At the end of the yatra, after 5 days, when we were going back to Mumbai, we had a concluding session. I asked everyone, what are the highlight of the yatra? What nourished you the most? So I thought they will say, this particular class nourished me the most, or this particular parikrama, or this thing, that darshan, special darshan at Radha Raman temple, or the special Mahaprasad we had at Radha Damodar temple. None of this. Everybody said unanimously, oh, Krishna sent that Babaji with petrol in the middle of nowhere. And I realized, yeah, they chose to see Krishna there. And I chose to see logistics. It was a choice, a wrong choice I made. And I learned the hard way. And I was so humbled because they were the boys, I was mentoring them. I was teaching them how to see Krishna in day-to-day life. And here, I was left with egg on my face. I was like, oh, yes. It never occurred to me that Krishna had come that day. So the point I'm making is sometimes we are so busy in our day-to-day lives, we forget to see how Krishna can show up in such beautiful ways. Now, isn't this an amazing thing how Krishna showed up? I can tell you hundreds of examples. I've started a journal every night before sleeping. I write a journal called How Did Krishna Show Up Today? And initially when I started, for 5 to 6 days, I would get one incident in 5 to 6 days. I had nothing to write. But there are occasions now I see sometimes in one day there are 5-6 incidents to write about how Krishna showed up today. If we choose a reality, if we choose certain way we want to think, then we can see Krishna's hand. You can say, oh Prabhu, it is a coincidence, but then I can give you many examples of many such coincidences which defy logic. Anyway, that's not debate. We don't want to debate there, but let us choose our thoughts. Now you'll say, okay, I want to choose my certain thoughts and I want to change my feelings, but how do I choose my thoughts? I feel helpless. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita says, the 14th chapter, 16th chapter, 17th chapter teaches us the science of the 3 modes. Do you know about this? Sattva, Rajas and Tamo. Goodness, passion and ignorance. These are 3 all-pervading energies in nature. So if you choose Sattva lifestyle, what is Sattva? Goodness? Anybody would like to share? What is Sattva? What happens when you are in Sattva energy? What do you do when you are in Sattva? You're peaceful. What else? Like, what are the activities a person in Sattva does? Selfless service. Anything else? Anything less abstract? Like anything you could?
They're clean.
They're clean. They take bath maybe twice a day. What else? They follow 4 regulative principles. What do they do?
Chant.
They chant. Yeah. Anything else? Let's not talk. They do devotional part. General Sattva. They'll take what kind of food? They'll take food which is not too much masala. It's not like, it's not intense. They'll take fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. The clothes they wear would be fresh. They may not wear, they'll be clean, as you said. They'll also, what is the kind of music they will hear? More soothing. They would be slow. They would be present. They would be with you when they are talking to you. And they would radiate a certain kind of joy. That is Sattva. There's a little bit of detachment in them, like, okay, they're not in a hurry to get things done, and they're not like, but they get things done. They're peaceful, basically. That is Sattva. Rajas is, what is Rajas? Passion. Passion means action. They're fighting, running. And then tamas, lazy, sleepy, intoxicated. That's tamas. So that's why you see temples open at morning 5 o'clock. Liquor bars close at that time. They don't open at 5 in the morning because they need a certain kind of energy. Stock markets flourish in the daytime. Passion, rajoguna. So we need to choose sattva thoughts. Like I got a phone call from one of my very close brahmachari friends. Bihari, you're coming for the yatra with all the ISKCON Youth Services group, and I'm booking your tickets. Pack your bags. We are leaving in 3 hours. I said, now, I said, no, Prabhu, I can't come. I've got so many services. So we negotiated for half an hour. It was 3 hours later we had to leave. And then finally, and he's a tough negotiator, this friend of mine, he's a temple manager. He never takes a no for an answer. And he called me on my landline, and I was in my room. And I was also tough. I held my ground. And after half an hour, I hung up. And he said, okay, you're not coming this year, you're coming next year. I said, no, I can't come next year because I have the services. But he can't take a no for an answer. Finally, he booked me for 7 years later. Because he wants yes, he's like a hardcore manager. And I was like, okay, 7 years, what will happen, we don't know in 7 years. So anyway, we hung up. Then I sat on my chair. I'm giving you a practical case study. This was 35 minutes I had spent with the man, talking, negotiating. Now I am alone in my chair. I have 3 thought choices. I have 3 thought choices. First, tamasic thought choice. Nobody loves me. He also doesn't love me. He calls me only when he has work. Only when he wants me to do something for the yatra, he calls me. Otherwise, when has he called me? And half an hour he's talking to me. He could have told me at least once in the last 1 week that he loves me. Or he could have given me some Mahaprasad. I had a choice. And what would happen if I had chosen these thoughts? What would I feel? What feelings would rise in my heart? Insecurity. Anything else? Envy. Anger. Sadness. Melancholy would creep in because I am allowing tamasic thoughts to rise in my heart. But I didn't choose the tamasic thoughts. I could see I had a choice. But I said, no, sorry, no tamas now. I need tamas when I'm at 10 o'clock when I want to sleep. I just switch off all the lights and I pray to Krishna and then allow darkness to get in, ignorance to get in so that I can go off to sleep. But at that point of time I said, no tamasic thoughts. Then I had another choice. Rajasic thoughts. I could say, aha, now he knows my value. I am somebody very important. I am indispensable for this community. Now he has realized my worth. At last he had to beg from me. Aha, I am so good. This is Rajasic. Passion, ambition, drive. Are you able to get what I am saying? This is common day-to-day affair, right? All of you are also going through this. So, but at that evening, I refused to choose Rajasic thoughts. I said no to Rajasic thoughts. Because if I had chosen those thoughts, what would happen in my heart? What feelings would rise? Superiority complex. False pride. I am the best. I am the greatest. I am the senior. I should be the in charge. That evening I chose sattva thoughts. What are sattva thoughts? Oh, he's so kind. I still have some value in this community. I still can be of some service. Unfortunately, I can't do this service now because I'm already having other responsibilities. But I'm so grateful that he remembered me and he's insisting I come for this. That means I am capable. I am worthy. I'm so grateful that somebody is considering me still worthy for this service. I chose these thoughts, and what kind of feelings I had? Abundance. I felt everybody is nice, everything is good. I am good. Krishna is nice. So the feelings change the way we choose our thoughts. Now I have given a very graphic example, but it may be a little more subtler. But as we practice awareness, we will be able to understand that the kind of thoughts I am choosing is affecting my feelings. So this was the first principle I wanted to share with you. The 4 principles are, first one is choose your thoughts, change your feelings. Second one, first see the gains, then see the gaps. I will repeat. First see the gains, Gains, and then see the gaps. What do I mean by this? I have seen many devotees are victims of this. Oh, I have to do so much. I am so inadequate. I have to progress in bhakti. Anybody feels like that sometimes? I'm not chanting well. I'm not a good devotee. I've got such a long way to go. I'm not a good mother. I'm not a good child. I'm not doing well in studies. I'm not working well. I'm not earning enough. Many of us, in fact, I would say almost all of us, suffer from inadequacy feelings all the time because we constantly see the gaps in our lives. I'll tell you a classic example. You get up in the morning, first thing, oh, it's late. I woke up late. I got so many things to do. And I didn't get enough sleep. So a gap starts. I didn't get enough rest. I've got so many things to do. I have less time. And that's why whole day we are running after filling gaps. For morning to night. And night also when you go to sleep, oh, I couldn't fill these gaps. Next day morning we are running to fill the gaps. And you know what happens because of this? Any guesses? If you're only in the, this is called gap consciousness, always seeing what I have not achieved. If you're always in the gap consciousness, what do you think is the fallout of this? Can anyone guess? Okay, now did you understand what is gap consciousness? I haven't done enough, I'm not doing this, we don't have enough money, I have to do this, I have not done this. All the time thinking of the gaps. Health, weight, everything, money, relationships. There is gap in my life from morning to night. So if you are always in the gap consciousness, what will happen? Self-doubt. Self-doubt, yes. And what else? Depression. What else? No self. So I think all of them are similar points. Loneliness also is all connected, but I am looking for something very serious that would happen. Yeah. Yes.
Rejection. Mental health crisis.
Sorry? It can become acute, you can get depressed, but practically what would happen in your life? Procrastination. How? You would get frustrated and then maybe, you get frustrated and then you don't do what you're supposed to do, and that's possible. But one of the most sinister fallouts of this gap consciousness, that even when you get what you're looking for, because you've been conditioned to be in the gap consciousness, you'll immediately create another gap. Never satisfied. Like, one devotee, Grahastha, told me this. He said, Prabhu, whole week I am like filling gaps. I have to do this, I have to do that. And I'm telling myself, but no problem. Sunday I'm going to go to temple, Radha Gopinath Mandir. I'm going to attend the Guru Puja, the morning Bhagavatam class. And I'll feel shelter, I'll feel happy. That's homecoming for me on Sunday morning. But Prabhu, when I come on Sunday and I'm sitting in the Bhagavatam class, my mind is only planning the next day's events. And I'm analyzing what happened in the previous week. And I told him that's because you've been in the gap throughout the week, and here your mind is conditioned to always be in the gap. This is the biggest disadvantage of being in gap consciousness, that you'll never learn to celebrate the present moment, and you'll never celebrate the gifts that you're getting. So what is the second principle I'm speaking about? First see the gains, then the gaps. So how does it practically translate? You will say, okay, Prabhu, I will see only the gains. Okay, I got this, I'm happy, I'm abundant, I'm good, I'm worthy. Prabhu, but if I do that, I'll become complacent, I'll become lazy. Isn't that a worry? If I keep looking at the gains, isn't it? But what did I say? First see the gains. I didn't say don't see the gaps. So I'll tell you how it works. At night before sleeping, I have my sadhana card, my tracking. I track my spiritual activities before sleeping. I've got some things I need to do every day and some things I meditate upon. So first I write down the gains of the day. I did this, great. All the good things I did today. So sometimes there are 10, sometimes there are 15, something that is meaningful for me. And when I'm in that gain space, yes, I have gained. I have done something. I have come closer to Krishna today. And then I go to sleep in this mood that I have come somewhere close to Krishna today. And next morning I get up, and what is the first thing I do? No, I again see the gains. This is what I did yesterday. I have come closer to Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. That's the third topic. We'll come to it later, gratitude. But first see the gains. And then, yes, now I've achieved so much. Now what are the gaps? What are the things I need to do today? So morning when I see the gaps, I'm motivated to work hard for the rest of the day to fill the gaps. But before retiring, if you see the gaps at night before sleeping, what will happen? That enters the subconscious mind and you sleep with gaps and you're miserable. Because see, I'll tell you it's like this. Krishna, let us figuratively see like this. Krishna is here. Look at my left hand. Krishna is here and we have come here in ISKCON and we are told, come to Krishna, jump, catch Krishna, lotus feet, call out to Krishna. That's what we are told. And we're jumping, we're going forward. But even after years, I may say decades, you may say, oh, Krishna is very far. I don't know if you have gone to Badrinath, Himalayan mountains. You've gone? You know, I went for a trek once to Vasudhara Falls and the guide told us, oh, that's Vasudhara Falls. It will take us 4 hours. 4 hours? I'll reach there in half an hour. I thought it's so close by. He laughed. He chuckled to himself. He knew that I have no experience. And I walked. Even after 4 hours, it was so far away. It's so misleading. It appears to be very close. But when you walk, you realize it's very far. And that's how Krishna is. Oh, Krishna, just stand Hare Krishna and I have Krishna. And then you say, oh, Krishna is very far. And we keep looking at the gaps. Oh, Krishna is so far. Krishna is so far. And then what happens? Devotees get discouraged, frustrated, as all of you said. And then we look down to the world we left behind to come to Krishna. And then we go back to that world. Because at least there we got something. Even though it was suffering, but it was material. But we prefer certain material things than uncertain spiritual gifts. So therefore, we need to see the gains every day. I am coming closer to Krishna. This is what I have done. I have done 10 things today. So when you see the gains first and then see the gaps, you will be inspired to fill the gaps. And you will be positive. Is this okay? Hare Krishna. This is the second principle. Third principle is practice specific, fresh, and why gratitude. I'll repeat. Practice specific. What is the second one? Fresh and why gratitude. Each word here is extremely important. First word is practice. And gratitude is a practice. Gratitude is not a feeling. Oh, I feel grateful. No, you may not feel grateful, but you can still practice gratitude. And what are the 3 types of gratitude, or what are the 3 aspects to gratitude? What is the first? What is the first? What does specific mean? Thanking God for something specific. Not, I've seen devotees say, thank you Krishna for everything. Well, everything means nothing. Be specific. Kunti Devi in our Bhagavatam prayers, you've seen from the first canto, 9th chapter. She doesn't say, Krishna, thank you for everything. She says, Vishan Mahagne Purushada Darshana Asat Sabhaya Vanavasa Krishrita. So she's giving all the examples. Yata Rishikesha Kalena Devaki Kamsena Ruddhati Chiram Sucharpita Vimochitaham Chasahatmaja Vibhu. 1, 2, 3, 4 specific instances or specific things I want to thank Krishna for. So first, gratitude is a practice, and secondly, it has to be specific, not general. And then practice, specific, and what else I said? Fresh gratitude, because gratitude can also become hackneyed, boring, mechanical, ritualistic. And I started gratitude practices. Thank you Krishna for giving me wonderful parents. Thank you Krishna for giving me amazing Guru Maharaj. After a few days you repeat the same thing. It's like, there is no energy, there is no emotion there, because it's like every day you are repeating it. So I changed the whole game. I said, let me practice fresh gratitude. What has happened in the last 24 hours that I'm really grateful for? So then during the day, my eyes and ears are open to look out for something that I'm really grateful for. So I'm always attentive, not always, I'm trying to be attentive, but if I'm in the space of fresh gratitude, then I'm looking out for good things to happen to me, and I attract good things, and then I thank the Lord for them, then I attract more of those things. It's a virtuous cycle. Like if I have to write a gratitude journal right now, fresh gratitude, last 24 hours. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. Just list down the things that you're grateful for in the last 24 hours that has happened to you. You have paper and pen. Don't think too much, just write. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if you can get 25 in 1 minute. Just start writing what are you grateful for. Okay, if not the last 24 hours, at least last 48 hours. Okay, last 1 week. Okay, last 1 year. Okay, since birth, be grateful for something. Start, don't stop. Please keep writing. Don't think. What are you thankful to Krishna for? Even if it's not fresh, it's okay. Just something you can thank Krishna for. Just something, anything. It could be something that has happened to 25 years ago. It's okay. The important principle here is gratitude. Okay, you've done? We'll stop. So what I'm doing is I'm forcing you to think of the good thing that has happened in the last 20. If I had to write this gratitude journal now, I would write a few things like what has happened in the last 24 hours. Okay, 1. Today, I heard Chopati Bhagavatam class by one of our brahmacharis, and I called him and I thanked him. And he was so overwhelmed. We didn't expect that I'm so busy in London, I would hear his class. And just seeing him happy made me so happy. Thank you, Krishna. That is 1. Second, I would thank Krishna, something fresh. I went for Guru Puja in the temple hall, and then I went to Prabhupada's quarters. I chanted 8 rounds there, and I felt very sheltered. That's the second thing I would thank Krishna for. Third, I went to one devotee's house for lunch, and he's an old friend, and he and his wife asked me some questions, and I was surprised by the answers I gave, and I know that it was not me, it was the Lord in the heart who saw my sincerity to help them and guided me to say the right things which really resonated with them. So thank you, Krishna, for that. So these were the 3 things I would thank if I had to write a gratitude, fresh gratitude right now. So can you understand what's happening if you do this every day? What would happen to your consciousness? You are acknowledging a power beyond yourself, you are becoming humble, you are also becoming small, and you are connecting to divinity. It's palpable, isn't it? So this is fresh. And what is the third aspect of gratitude? Why? This is very important. I don't know if you realize, when I was explaining my 3 principles, three gratitude things, there was the answer to why. Why am I grateful for this experience? See, if you say, I'm very grateful because I had an exotic breakfast today. Thank you, Krishna. But why are you grateful for a breakfast? Because I'm a foodie. I like good food. Okay, that's in one sentence. Just write one sentence. Why? I'm very grateful, Krishna, that I could chant in Prabhupada's quarters today because I felt a sense of shelter. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Krishna, for giving me the intelligence to call up this brahmachari and thank him for the class, because I felt a lot of love exchanges and I was so happy to see him happy. So when we answer why, we are investing emotion and energy in the gratitude, and it's that energy. It's not the external saying thank you. In social etiquette we are taught from childhood. Somebody gives a cup of water, we say thank you. Thank you, we use it so loosely. As I saw one video where Gaur Gopal Prabhu says, oh, people say it's one thing to say a thank you, but another thing to mean a thank you. And it's a completely different thing to live a thank you. So to live a thank you, we need to have a why. So this is a gratitude practice. So what are the 3 principles? We discussed 3 or 2? 3. What are the first? Choose your thoughts, change your feelings. Second, first see the gains, then see the gaps. And third, practice specific, fresh and why gratitude. And the 4th important principle is appreciate a reality beyond self. I will repeat. Appreciate a reality beyond self. Would anyone like to explain what I mean by this sentence? Appreciate a reality beyond self. Generally, when we appreciate someone or something, we may be trapped by the self. Like, he's such a nice devotee, he helped me so much, he's so good. That's nice. That's nice, you're appreciating someone. But imagine you didn't exist on this planet. And you have to, you're seeing from above. And you have to speak something good about someone. If you can appreciate one person every day, without the self being involved, you will see your thoughts dramatically change. You see a reality beyond ourselves. Right now we are trapped by our own world. My family, my friends, my head, and me, mine, I. These are the 3 most important words in our dictionary. It's all about I, me and mine. But what if I didn't exist? Can I see goodness around me? Think of what I'm saying now. Like, I had a friend, Gujarati boy, Jigar. It's a common Gujarati name. So in Mumbai, during COVID, so I'll tell you, there were 3 rounds how I practice appreciation. It's very powerful. First round is you just appreciate a person for what he means to you. Like, oh, Jigar is so good, Now just observe what I'm saying. Jigar is so good. During COVID, I was so stuck with my mom, and my mom was so sick and I had to stay in my hometown. And he dropped everything and he came over and he helped me take care of the house, he would cook for me, and he would run to the hospital, get medicines. He did so much for me. He's such a kind and loving person. I'm so connected to him. I'm so grateful to him. He's such a beautiful, wonderful person. He never criticizes anyone, and he's always been there for me. Time is over. You know what I've done? I've appreciated him. I've thanked him, but it was all about me. So it's good. See, we are not impersonalists. We don't want to be not thanking someone just because it's about me. No, we want to appreciate someone because of what that person means to me. But now let's go to the second round, where I appreciate him as if I didn't exist in this world.
You feel that it's a God sent.
Yes. So that's good. First round is that. He's God sent. He's helped me so much. But are you getting what I'm saying? Second round? What did I say in the second round? What do you need to do? Appreciate him as if? So you know what I would do? Jigar is amazing. Now notice what I'm saying now. Compare it with what I said in the previous round. Second round is, Jigar is amazing, you know. He loves his mom so much. She cooks breakfast for him every day, packs his lunch. And then, when he comes home, she feeds him hot dinner. So you know how he reciprocates with her? Every Saturday, Sunday, he cooks 3 times a day for his mom. And he takes care of her like a queen on those 2 days. And every year he goes to Gaya and performs the Pinda Tarpan for his departed father. And he is very respectful to elders. And he's got the best employee award in his company 7 times in the last 8 years. Are you seeing what is happening? Is there anywhere, do you see Vraj Bihari there? I'm appreciating him, but I'm not saying anything about what he has done for me. That means I am making a big statement. There is a lot to this universe. There is much more to the universe than me. Unfortunately, we are unable to, if you are not able to appreciate this point, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to discourage you, I'm just saying you may be stuck with I. But if you can appreciate this, you will slowly begin to realize that you are tiny, insignificant, and there is a beautiful reality which is beyond you. Imagine if you die now, will it make any difference to the planet? Will the IPL stop? In India, everybody's Bollywood movies stop producing films? No, everything will go on. Nothing, we mean nothing to nobody. So might as well live in that space of appreciating this giant cosmos. And then what will happen if you live in the second space of appreciation? You will inadvertently slip to the third space of appreciation where you will see divinity in Jigar. Like I see, wow, Jigar is serving his parents so much. So you know, one day I had an altercation with him. I got upset, and then suddenly I remembered, oh, he loves his father so much. He goes and performs his Pinda Tarpan, and Prabhupada dedicates his Krishna book to his father. And he loves his mom so much. Jigar loves his mom so much, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is known as Matra Bhakta Shiromani. So Jigar is following the footsteps of Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I'm seeing divinity in Jigar now. You start seeing divinity in all the human beings when you see them beyond yourself. And then this world becomes Sukham Vishwam Purna Sukhayate Vidhi Mahendradi Shakitayate. The Bhagavatam says that for a pure devotee, this world becomes a beautiful, happy place. But we have heard that this world is a place of suffering. How can pure devotees be always happy? Because they are not thinking about themselves. They are thinking about Krishna and others independent of themselves. I know it's difficult to practice, that's why I've given you a practice. I'll give a classic example. Today, I want to show you this. If you're interested, I can show you, but I can't forward this to you. So today, I was having a lot of body pain in the morning. This was the 3rd consecutive day I had fever, and I was trying to avoid antibiotics and all of that because, you know, those crazy brahmachari habits that die hard. Then I had to give up. I had to surrender. So then I called a doctor friend of mine, and he said he's on the way. But I was irritable and running nose, fever, and I knew I'm sinking now. You know, that's how you sink into negative loop. Then I said, okay, wait, I need to practice the 4th principle. Appreciate a reality beyond self. And you know what I did? I took my laptop, I started typing, and then of course I transferred it to my WhatsApp so I can show it to you later. I wrote 2,500 words, more than 2,500 words on one devotee from the Bhaktivedanta manner. I just glorified him on my laptop. He doesn't know that I've done that. And he's done so much. I know about him. I've been coming here for 20 years now. So, and then when I finished, it was like a big release. And also I started feeling better. And then I read what I wrote. I was like, wow, there's so many good qualities. And none of this, there was no Braj Bihari there anywhere. I was accessing a reality beyond myself. And when I wrote that, I think I am feeling more happy. And then what I did, I shared it with some of my friends in Mumbai. I didn't share it with some of the people I know in London because I didn't know what they will think about him. I don't want them to become insecure or envious. That's complicated sometimes, devotees. So I just shared it with Mumbai friends who don't know him. But I've written his name and everything, and then I got so many messages from Mumbai devotees saying, I have a group, I sent it to all of them. And they're like, Prabhu, what an amazing story, what an amazing devotee. And I saw the energy. Everybody's talking about somebody else. There is no I there. None of us in Mumbai were talking about ourselves, our problems, which we are anyway talking all the time. And I could see a whole energy. I was physically in a mess, but I was in high spirits. And the entire journey in the car, I was in space of love. Parth was driving me. I don't know where he is. Parth? Oh, he's there somewhere. Oh, he's there. So he was driving me. And the whole time I was tired. My body was in pain, but I was in ecstasy. So I'm not claiming, I'm not like this all the time. I do have low time moments. But I don't want, you are anyway discouraged. I'm supposed to give you hope. So I don't want to tell you my sob story and make you more miserable. So I'm telling you my good moments, when I have won or when I'm doing well. So today is one of those days. And this letter, I'm like so excited. And devotees are sharing and they're saying, wow, wow, wow. And then I also realized I didn't know about the glories of this devotee so much. So because of the practice of appreciation, this is what happens. So why did I say this? Appreciating our reality beyond self. So when these 4 principles are ingrained in us, you will see your thoughts have changed and your spiritual life has transformed dramatically. And you may be suffering because suffering is common. Nobody is spared. But you will be comfortable in your own skin and you will feel, theek hai yaar, ye life jee lenge. Krishna, I love you. Even if, like recently I was chanting and my japa was a drag. I was like, Krishna, and that moment I could offer this prayer and suddenly my consciousness changed. Krishna, today's japa is so boring. But I will prove to you my sincerity by not getting up and completing my 4 remaining rounds. I don't want to chant. This is extremely a big drag for me right now. My mind is protesting, my body is aching. But I want to show you that I love you. I don't know what the holy name is. I'm in a mess right now, but I will prove to you my sincerity. And then I chanted. I was like struggling, but again, Krishna, I want to show you I'm sincere. Hare Krishna. And after those 4 rounds got over, I felt a certain sense of peace in my heart. And I felt this choice I made is more powerful than a million kirtan melas that you attend. Because kirtan melas is all about feeling good. Oh, I liked it. Oh, the kirtan was so nice. I was so happy. Or the prasadam, or the sanghas, or the darshan was so good. It's all emotional bhakti. I like it. Oh, bhakti is so good. Nice friends. But actual bhakti begins when we enter the space of existential bhakti, where regardless of what I feel, what happens to me, I am Krishna's. And there what we experience is called shelter. That's beyond the feel good. That's the joy of chastity. Now what we are experiencing is the thrill of romance. There is a difference between the thrill of romance and the joy of chastity. Thrill of romance is, wow, bhakti is so amazing. Oh, I love this. I love the kirtan. I love this. I love the sanghas. I love the retreats. I love the programs. Wow, I'm so good. Joy of chastity is like, well, I'm not happy today, but Krishna, I'm yours. I won't leave you, Krishna. So if you can come there, then life becomes wonderful. There is a difference between the fireworks that we see on Diwali and that quiet flame that burns in traditional Indian temples for centuries. You've seen? In some temples, this flame is burning all the time. So, ISKCON promises you a state of existence beyond happiness. But to go there, we need to transform, we need to change our thoughts, our thinking process. So these are the 4 principles. I'll quickly summarize. What is the first? Change your thoughts. Choose your thoughts. Change your feelings. What is the second? First see gains, then see gaps. Third, practice specific, fresh, and why gratitude. And fourth, appreciate a reality beyond the self. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
So we'd like to invite anybody who'd like to ask a question. If we can keep it specific to what was discussed today, rather than being more general, in the theme of what we said. Would you like to, would we like to come with a question? Yes.
Thank you both for the class. Amazing. Lots to take away today. I had a question around appreciate reality beyond self. And when you said see the divinity in other people, how do you deal with, I'm going to ask this, how do you deal with divinity when someone's angry towards you?
Okay, I will answer that question. Just give me a second. There's a poem I wrote. I just want it in case I need to read it for you later. I don't want to lose that. I'm just searching for it. Okay, I lost it. So you're saying, how do I see divinity, or how do I see divinity when somebody is angry with you? Okay. So there are 2 things here. There are some things we can do, some things we can control, right? And some things we can't control. All of you know this? Some things you can do well, some things you can't do. So can you see divinity and appreciate those who are not angry with you? Can you do that? If you can do that consistently, then Krishna will give you the intelligence to see divinity in those who make you angry. We need to work on what we can do. I've seen that when we present Krishna consciousness or some hopeful strategies to make our lives better, many of us, because of our past conditioning, we immediately, our attention goes to something that's difficult. We immediately catch that which is impossible. That's the trick of the mind. Mind says, oh, this is not going to work. Because how can you thank someone who's angry with you? So I tell them, leave it to Krishna. Forget him. Don't thank him. Don't see divinity in a person who makes you angry. Just ignore him. Right? Just thank Krishna. So that's why I say you can't be grateful for everything, but you can be grateful at every moment. You can't be grateful for everything that happens in your life. But you can be grateful at every moment for something else. Maybe. When we were students in school, our maths exam, our teachers would always tell us, when you get the question paper, first solve the easy sums. First solve the questions which you can. And then when you have time, attempt the difficult ones. Isn't that what you would do? You are practical, pragmatic. But when it comes to spiritual life, we immediately want to grab that which is very difficult. And we make our lives more miserable. Like I remember in one seminar I did, it was on forgiveness, and somebody said, how do you forgive those who have offended you and who have hurt you? I said, forget that. First forgive those who have not offended you so much. No? First do things which you can. First do what is possible. So that's my answer to your question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I have a question. Basic question. You told us about your stories when the train was delayed and there was no petrol and things on. So if you were in that situation now, how do you think you would react? Because at that time you had anxiety, there was all different emotions. So now further along in your evolved state, so then would you then think, well, this is Krishna's doing and I will just accept it? Or do you think you'd still have that anxiety?
I would have that anxiety because I'm human, I'm fallible. But I think my strength is my ability to come back to Krishna. I may not be able to choose Krishna always, but I think I can come back to Krishna. Like in a provocative situation, I may miss to choose Krishna. But later on, when the crisis has passed, I can come back to Krishna. Do you see the difference?
But isn't that crisis when you need Krishna the most?
Yes, but in Rupa Goswami explains in our Nectar of Devotion, which is the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he says that when a person is in danger, life is threatened, and we are supposed to call out Krishna. Like I remember recently somewhere in a car, we had a narrow escape. I think we came from the Dharam road out of the manor, and one car went past us. It was such a close shave. By a whisker we missed, and I said, Krishna! So that was good. Krishna came out of my mouth. But sometimes it could be, Mummy! So Rupa Goswami says, if you call out your mom's name, or if you call out some, something material, or whatever. So Rupa Goswami says, if you've been a practicing devotee, that non-Krishna call will also be considered as Krishna conscious call, because you were in a life-threatening situation and it was beyond your ability to make a choice. So Krishna is kind.
I know that. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I nearly died last month. So
Sorry?
I nearly died last month. So I'm back. I'm living because of Krishna.
Yes.
So I know that. But when I was in that state, my only go-to was Krishna. So that's why I asked that question.
Yeah.
In the crisis.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be, I'm glad you shared this.
Yeah.
See, I prefer always to under-promise and over-deliver. Like I prefer to say, I won't remember Krishna, it's okay. I try to tell you all of that, but ideally we want to remember Krishna, we want to take shelter of Krishna, and that's what will happen. But still, if you can't, don't beat yourself up. You are still dear to Krishna. See, if you practiced all the time, then at the right time, Krishna will help you remember. And even if you don't remember, you are sincere. See, those moments, it's executive bhakti, it's effective bhakti. It's an effect of what you've done all the time. You can't plan, crisis is it's sudden. You can't say, oh, now I'm going to say Hare Krishna. Suddenly it happens, right? But now what you're practicing is called executive bhakti. You are executing bhakti. And at a certain points, there is an effective bhakti that happens beyond your control. It just happens. So yes, if that crisis happens now, I cannot say right now how I would react. Depends on the intensity. Because 3 years ago, I lost my passport bag at the Madrid airport and I was going to US. It was a panic situation. Now, and I'd already given seminars on breathing, journaling, I'm a great advocate of, I can't say this in India because it's not politically correct to say, but in West I always say, I preach BJP, breathing, journaling and praying. That is my, so I'm a BJP preacher, So breathing, I had given a seminar on breathing, journaling and all of that, and here I am at Madrid airport, my passport bag is missing and I'm panicking. And then I said, wait, Krishna, I've lost it, but I can't get it back in the next 1 minute. So let me just breathe. So I relaxed. And then things fell in place. Ram was there, I called Ram, and then things happened. I got the bag. But the point is, we need, it helps. Like a practice helps you during crisis. I saw it a few times happen with me, and sometimes it hasn't helped me. So I can't say it's always, I've chosen Krishna, but at least I've been able to come back to Krishna. I'll come back to you, Prabhu, just give me a second. So is that okay? Yeah. So yeah, we go through crisis. I can't assure you what I would do now, but I'm confident that once the crisis has passed, I'll come back to Krishna. And you know what gives me a lot of strength? There is one verse in the scriptures where Krishna tells Arjuna, in the Adi Purana, I think, you can repeat this verse after me. I will explain the meaning later. It's a beautiful verse. Hear attentively. Yadi vatapi doshena mad bhakta mam nachasmaret aham smarami mad bhakta tepi yanti param gatim. Did anyone understand what the verse is? You understood? Can you tell me what it is? Try.
I'm just
Guess.
guessing. At the time of crisis, if my God can't remember me, I will make sure that.
Yes. Yadi vatapi devshana. Because of imbalance of air in the body, because of the anxiety, Yadi vatapi doshena mad bhakta mam nacha smaret. My devotee is not able to remember me. Krishna is assuring, aham smarami mad bhakta. I will remember you. And I will get you back to me. Tepi anti parambati. I will get you back to me. Now this is not a license for us to be complacent. Oh, Krishna is going to remember me. No. When I can, I remember. I do everything possible, knowing that Krishna loves me more than I love him. Is that okay? Yes, sorry, I kept you waiting. You had a comment.
Krishna Guru. Question was to do with how can you be positive when you feel used sometimes by certain people?
Yeah, you can't.
But how can you stop the feeling of being negative towards
You
a
can't.
certain person?
Yeah.
Especially when you feel you've helped somebody, but then you realize actually I've been used, but then
Yeah.
how do you get over that?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked this question because often, when we come for spiritual programs, satsang and all, even journaling workshops, I've seen we sometimes go back feeling that, okay, I'm in charge of my life, I can do things on my own, I'm independent. No, sorry, we are an interdependent society. We all need each other. So these practices cannot be done in isolation. We need a society. We need good friends. We need meaningful relationships. So during such times, you need someone to talk to. You need someone to take counseling from. Like I do journaling workshops and people think, okay, I'm a lone wolf, I can just write journals and connect to Krishna. No, I tell them. Even Adolf Hitler wrote journals every day. So journal writing can make you Adolf Hitler if you don't have a proper conscience. So we don't have a foolproof, okay, now I'll just going to be positive, I'm just going to do these 4 things. No, but we need love, we need society, we have our social needs, we need to look out for friends. So at such times when life is overwhelming, we need to be vulnerable, we need to come to someone and say, Prabhu, Mataji, help me. I need help. I'm a big preacher, I'm great, I know all the techniques. A doctor also goes to another doctor. So we need to see, I've seen one of the mistakes devotees do often is we put up a mask. During COVID, did you all put up mask? In India, everybody had this mask. So what happens if you put on a mask the whole time? What happens? Huh? You feel suffocated, but you also feel safe because you have a mask on. Look at the paradox. A mask makes you feel safe, but it also suffocates you. So when I put on a mask, here I am, Bihari Das, a monk for 27 years. I've got all the answers for all the questions. Hari Bol Prabhus. I'm putting on a mask. So I feel safe with that mask. You can't intrude my space and I'm good, I'm strong. But also it suffocates. So I need someone, somewhere. Or you've seen an armor? In India, we have a Prince of Wales museum where we have Shivaji Maharaj's armor. Now this is the armor he wore and fought battles. And today, 5 men are needed to lift it. So you can imagine this man was wearing it and fighting. It's amazing. So what happens when you put on an armor? You feel strong. I've seen when you put on an armor, you feel, wow, I can fight with everyone. You feel strong when you have an armor, but you also get exhausted. So when I put on an armor of a preacher, of knowing all the Bhagavad Gita verses and everything, okay, how to solve this problem, I feel strong, but I got exhausted at the end of the day. But I call just one friend, Prabhu, I need you. Are you there? Can we talk? Somehow connecting to live relationships. ISKCON society needs devotees to have meaningful relationships with each other. Non-judgmental acceptance is what everybody is looking for. So the kind of situation you're talking about, we need to have positive affirmations, what I spoke about, but we also need to simultaneously have good relationships. They're complementary. It's not exclusive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else would like to ask a question?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I've heard you before. You come up with amazing teachings. I don't know how you pack it in. I 30 simple habits. You mentioned about being grateful, fresh gratitude. See, by nature, say I am used to appreciate or be grateful to Krishna for, say, same thing virtually every day. Being grateful for health or what we have, family, and well-being. But how do you now start to change
Don't change.
for the fresh
Don't
gratitude?
change. See, as long as you are able to invest emotions and energy in that gratitude, continue. The goal was not fresh gratitude is not, then it becomes a ritual. See, I want you to connect to the principle of gratitude, even if it's old, even if it's old and stale gratitude, as long as you are able to connect with Krishna, because the scriptures explain, yena kena prakarena manah Krishna niveshayat, somehow or the other fix your mind on Krishna. If it helps you to remember Krishna with feeling for your health every day, great. Why do you want to change it? Continue. Don't add something which Bihari has said and don't confuse your, don't make your life more miserable. Like somebody after journaling workshop, somebody tells me, I have no time, Prabhuji, I've got so many things to do. How can I add journaling in my life? I said, don't add journaling in your life. Tell me, is there something that helps you connect with Krishna? Do that more. I don't want to burden you with more things because already your life has enough obligations, enough burdens. You come to Hare Krishna, we are supposed to make your life easier, not give you more and more stuff. So if you are able to thank Krishna for the same things, great. Go on. The goal is not to complicate your life with new techniques. The goal is to help you somehow offer your emotions to Krishna. Like if you can offer the same thing every day, great. Krishna, thank you for giving me a wonderful family. If you're feeling connected to Krishna, do that.
Well, thanks for that. I think I add whatever happens, sometimes wrong things, even sometimes say if you have a disagreement at home or with family or somebody, I consider it it's good for me.
Thank you.
Whatever is Krishna trying to teach me,
Beautiful.
it's good for me.
You're evolved, you're able to appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm very grateful to you for sharing this. See, gratitude, what do you think? Do you think happy people are grateful in this world? What do you think? Not necessary. But do you think grateful people are happy? In fact, grateful people may not be happy. Like I remember, we lost 10 devotees in an air crash in Mumbai in 2012. It was a tragedy, devastating tragedy in our community. We were confused, we were hurt, we were sad, we were angry with Krishna. And then His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was in America. He came back to Chowpatty and we had a 2-day memorial festival for these 11 devotees who lost their life. One of them was a brahmachari. He was in Nepal. And Maharaj called this 2-day festival as not a memorial festival. He called it as a festival of gratitude. So in that space of gratitude, we were not happy. But because we entered that space of gratitude, remembering each of those devotees for their wonderful qualities, for how they influenced our lives, we were not happy, but we were, I don't know what it was. It's ineffable. See, we can express and explain what happens in our mind, intelligence and ego, but there is something beyond the mind, intelligence and ego. And if we can explain it in words, that means it's also material. It has to be beyond matter. There is a sense of shelter that you experience which is beyond words. So if you are able to experience that relationship with Krishna by thanking Krishna for the same things every day, great. Do that. Do that. Because happy people may not be grateful, but grateful people are very fulfilled. Okay, I'll give you 2 choices. I'll end with this. You have a choice to be rich or a choice to feel rich. What is the first choice? Be rich. What is the second? Feel rich. What would you prefer? You are saying feel rich, but I know what you really want. I know you better. You are struggling, you will want to be rich. But there's an advantage of feeling rich over being rich. What is the best advantage? You don't have to worry about paying taxes. No anxiety. But yeah, honestly, if you carefully analyze, feeling rich is a much more fulfilling experience than being rich. And gratitude practices makes you feel rich. Even though life goes through its crazy ups and downs, no one is spared, huh? No one is spared. Everyone. You may think, oh Prabhuji, but your life is amazing, you are a monk, you don't have Jamela or family. Well, there are many closely guarded secrets, even in the renounced order. Everybody has struggles, everybody has challenges. But gratitude, these 4 principles are a game changer. They make you feel Krishna loves me, I am happy, I am safe. Let me be with Krishna. Let my life go wherever Krishna wants me to take. But I belong to Krishna.